The iPhone 15s are going to be announced in less than 10 days, and in this video, I want to talk about the latest we've been hearing, and it seems like it's been a string of bad news. Things that we thought were coming have been pushed back or changed a lot, and where I want to start with that is with the colors, because the colors this year, I would say, are the most different than we've ever seen on the iPhone. According to 9to5Mac, they've obtained the exact color codes for every single new iPhone 15 model from a trusted source, and these colors this year are absolutely whack. Okay, on the standard iPhone 15 and the iPhone 15 Plus, this is the color lineup for 2023. It is an entirely revamped, completely new pastel-only collection that is incredibly interesting. First of all, Apple's never done anything quite like this before, but second of all, you'll notice that out of these 5 colors, which include a light green, light blue, light pink, light yellow, and black, there is no white model. And that's because for the first time in well over a decade, Apple is not offering a standard white color for the iPhone 15. You either have to go a light shade of something or black. Those are your two options. I don't know, the pastel's absolutely not for me. So I was very looking forward to the Pro colors for 2023. So first up is Space Black. We've seen this on the iPhone 14 Pros. Apple is bringing it back yet again. Then we've got the silver/white iPhone 15 Pro, which is going to be the only way to get white in 2023. You'll have to buy a Pro. Then we've got Titan Gray. This is the first of 2 new colors for 2023 on the Pros. It's going to be a natural titanium look, and the only real color option for the 15 Pros is going to be Midnight Blue. This is the dark blue color we've been hearing about for a while, and it is a lot more subdued and serious than I had thought it was going to be. You might ask, wait, where's gold? Apple's been doing gold on the Pro phones since the iPhone XS in 2018, and 2023 marks the year that gold is being discontinued. It's seemingly been replaced by this new Titan Gray color, and while I was never a fan of gold, I do know there's a lot of you out there that were really attached to it and bought it every single year, so I'm sorry for your loss here. So here they are, all the iPhone 15 colors for 2023. I definitely feel a certain way about them, but let me know your thoughts down below. Now, before moving on with the rest of the video, I want to take just a second to thank Basis, who sponsored this one. This is their new 65-watt Adamant 20,000 milliamp hour battery bank, and it's absolutely ridiculous. Recently, I've been traveling a bunch, so having something with a colossal 20,000 milliamp hour capacity means I can not only fully charge my phone, I can also charge my iPad or other tablet that I have with me, as well as my literal MacBook. And I just love how versatile this power bank is as well. For maximum power, you can just connect one device and you're getting 65 watts of power just for that. But you can also connect up to 3 devices at the same time, and they will share that 65 watts. Which isn't just really impressive, it also means I don't need any other source of power throughout the day to make sure that my phone, my iPad, my MacBook, and even other devices too are always staying charged. But even more impressive than that is how you're getting all of this functionality in such a good looking design as well. While most power banks value function over form, this absolutely nails both. The aluminum casing just makes this product feel incredibly premium. Obviously the blue looks great as well, but this metal design that Basis has opted for also helps with heat dissipation as well, so this is also a very efficient power bank. And on top of everything else, there's even a little screen on the front. You press the side button and you get to see the remaining charge. And just for you guys, I've got a great deal down below. Using my code AppleTrack, you get 20% off, and it drops the price down to just $47.99. And by the way, Basis has a really cool Basis Give It Free program where they're actually always looking for beta testers to try out new products. You'll get product samples, and the feedback you provide on those will directly impact the product's development. So I'll leave a link to that program as well down below. Huge thank you to Basis for sponsoring this one. Now back to the video. Next up for USB-C, we have gotten some interesting new details about how this is going to work specifically between the iPhone 15 and the iPhone 15 Pro. It's not going to be the same. Specifically, we've heard in the past that it's going to be limited to USB 2.0 speeds on the standard 15, which is the exact same as the current Lightning port as it has been in its current state since 2012. However, the iPhone 15 Pros will support Thunderbolt data transfer 40 gigabits per second. It's going to be as fast as a Mac. However, the cable required to make those data transfer speeds work, it's not going to be the one included with the phones. ports. We've now learned that if you want to get the fastest USB-C transfer, like with Thunderbolt on the iPhone 15 Pro, Apple has made a special new short Thunderbolt cable that will be made specifically for the iPhone 15 Pro. This comes according to Kosutami on Twitter/X, who says specifically it is 0.8 meters long, so like one of the shortest cables Apple has ever made, and it looks really nice. It's thick. It will be incredibly fast for data transfer, but it will be sold separately and likely about $100. Now, to be clear here, this is not weird for Thunderbolt. All of Apple's current Thunderbolt super fast cables are incredibly expensive, and that's because apparently to manufacture these cables, it is a pretty arduous process and it is not exactly cheap for Apple. However, I cannot fathom paying $1,099 minimum because the price increased for the Pros, and then spending another $100 on this cable just to take full advantage of the USB-C port on here. I guess I shouldn't be surprised that Apple has found a smart way to monetize USB-C for the Pros that actually want these speeds by making a dedicated cable. I just hate that it's not included and you have to buy it separately. Okay, next up, this one is absolutely wild. This is the front wallpaper for the iPhone 15 Pro. And if you're wondering why it looks like it was drawn by a child, it's because it might have been. This story is so interesting to me. Shrimp Apple Pro the other day notices on a foreign social network that someone claims to have seen the box of the iPhone 15 Pro. And allegedly, this is what the new wallpaper looks like. Out of this, we've actually seen some pretty interesting concepts pop up of what the box could actually look like. There's ones we've seen like this. I think the best ones are from William Fex over on Twitter/X, who shows us it's sort of the 14 Pro design, but curved and mocked up the other way. Are any of these artist renditions accurate? I have no idea, but there's something in my gut that says the actual wallpaper is going to be some kind of S shape. I do believe that info is authentic because it's just too obscure to not be. Maybe I'm wrong here, but I feel like I just had to share this. Now, I thought that would be the most interesting leak in this video, but I've got to give it to what Apple will be replacing the leather cases that they sell with. This is allegedly Apple's new fine woven case that will be replacing their leather series. We first started talking about this in my last video, where a number of sources out of the blue said that Apple had officially planned to get rid of leather this year, just because not only did the leather cases age very, very poorly and not in a good way whatsoever, with Apple being very environmentally conscious, using real leather and not a substitute or vegan-friendly leather. There's some clash of ideology there, right? So Apple has come up with a replacement, and it might be this. Now, to be clear, I do believe that these fine woven cases are fakes. I think they are recreations of what the actual cases are going to be like, but if they look anything like this, where there's a two-tone design, they don't look great to me. Now, I'm of course reserving my final judgment because I know that these photos are not entirely representative, and even the fine woven name doesn't sound like Apple to me. So very low chance that this is an actual first look at the case replacement, but to be clear, I do believe a case replacement is coming, and the leather, it's time for it to change and evolve in some meaningful way. Let's take a break from the bad news for just a second to highlight some good stuff. So Guomenshi recently shared his predictions for Apple's September 12th Wonderlust event, specifically about the iPhone 15. And here are the highlights in this report for me. Number one, Guo highlights that titanium isn't just going to look nicer and be more premium, it's actually a lighter material. So when you're using the iPhone 15 Pro Max, the curved design combined with titanium, it is going to make this phone so much better for one-handed use. And to me, just more usable in general, to the point where I might actually consider getting a Pro Max for the first time ever, because it will feel way lighter in this much mass with titanium. Number two, Guo confirmed the exact colors that we heard about earlier in this video, the gray, white, black, and blue for the Pros, and regular colors of black, pink, yellow, blue, and green. And third and finally here, the production issues that we heard about that might delay the iPhone 15s into October. Remember when we heard that rumor and I had told you guys that there's just absolutely nothing behind this and a delay is not happening? Well, as predicted, Guomenshi now agrees, saying that all of the production issues in their entirety have been resolved and everything is back on track. AppleTrack. However, noting that the Pro Max specifically is just a little bit behind in mass production compared to the other models, so getting a 15 Pro Max, well, that'll be a little bit harder than getting a 15 Pro just initially for a couple of weeks at launch. And while we're on the topic of the iPhone 15 Pro Max, let me just clarify that this is what it's going to be called this year. Apple's most expensive premium iPhone will be the iPhone 15 Pro Max, not the iPhone 15 Ultra. We've sort of been hearing about this idea on and off that Apple was planning a super high-end model, crazy expensive, maybe it would have more RAM or internal storage and just be a massively spec'd out version of the iPhone 15 that would be replacing or supplementing the 15 Pro Max. But that is not happening in 2023 at least, according to Bloomberg's Mark Gurman, confirming Apple is keeping the Pro Max naming and device around, and that while Apple has internally actually explored a super high-end, crazy premium model that would bear the Ultra name, similar to the Apple Watch Ultra, it's not coming until next year at the earliest. And that's just consistent with what Apple does for products in naming. They're not going to call the Pro Max Ultra just because it has a periscope camera, and they're certainly not going to market bigger RAM or storage as a selling point. To be clear, I think in the next year or two, we will actually see a super high-end premium iPhone Ultra that might come in at $1,500 to $2,000, just because I think there's a surprisingly large number of people that would buy a phone like that. But it's definitely not happening on the iPhone 15 series, and we will get to say Pro Max for yet another year, which I still think is just like not a great name. Like, can we just change it to, there's iPhone 15 Pro 6.1 and 6.7. I don't know. The Pro Max is, it's goofy. So we are in it, guys. We are less than 10 days away from the iPhone 15s being announced. We've been talking about these for months. I just want to say thank you to you guys for supporting me, for being here, for watching these videos so consistently. It means a lot. I know it's just another phone to some people, but it makes me excited. It's fun to talk about, and we're going to get to see it at Apple's event on September 12th, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard. Huge thank you, as always, to Shay over at Concept Central for making some of the great renders in this video. The dude is just on another level. Please go subscribe and show him some love. And of course, subscribe here for more on the iPhone 15. Drop a like if you enjoyed this video. I've been Sam. I hope you're doing well, and I'll catch you cool cats in the next one. Peace. I'm going to get the iPhone 15. I made that joke in the last video. I can't redo the joke. I'm just gonna say bye, and I'm just gonna go down here. I can hide from my jokes very happily.